Ladies and gentlemen, I welcome Abigail Bino, the Deputy Permanent Secretary at the Ministry of Public Administration, and Colleen Galatzi, Executive Director of Modernization and Service Improvement Division. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
How are you all doing this morning?
We're doing great.
Great,
Thank
fantastic.
All right. So, Deputy PS, last time you were here, we spoke about the career fair at the Public Administration. How did it go at Napa and Sapa?
It went wonderfully, so much so that we're doing it again. This time, we're going to Tacarigua and Tacuba.
Okay. Tell me in terms of the aim of the career fair. Just remind folks who may have missed the last interview, what is the purpose of the career fair?
The purpose of the career fair is twofold. One, to bring information about the many diverse jobs that the public service offers, and we are the largest employer, of course, and to actually get persons to apply for job vacancies. We also, in the midst of all of that, we provide some skills to job seekers. So we have interview writing as a course available free of charge.
Interview writing.
Interviews,
skills.
Right.
Resume writing.
Resume writing. And we
okay.
also have a third one this time around, which is Dressing for Success. And our good friends at Hermat put those on for us.
All right, that's fantastic. Colin, tell me about some of the work that happens in the Modernization and Service Improvement Division.
Well, the work that we do is pretty dynamic. We work across GOAT in terms of all of our projects are enterprise-wide. What that means, we work with all 23 ministries and the various departments and agencies. And our goal is improving service delivery in the HR discipline as well as service delivery when you need to renew your passport. If you need to renew a driver's license, we work with those entities via programs and projects, providing them with even project-related training to improve their processes, to reduce the time frame or transaction times, reduce the pain, as we may call it, in receiving those services.
How do you measure the success of these services in terms of whether or not the improvements that you're attempting to make have landed where they're supposed to land?
Okay, so I'm glad that you asked that question because we've also got on the backdrop our program called the Government Performance Management System, which we work with entities to establish targets and KPIs so we'll be able to measure around 4 perspectives. And the perspectives are service delivery, service improvement, also looking at learning and development because everything happens, it's interrelated. Yes, you're relying on employees to deliver the service, so we need to look after our employees. And we also look at governance and accountability in terms of how we steward in the funds, etc. So those are the 4 pillars that we work on with regards to measuring performance to ensure that our initiatives are being successful. And at the end of the day, the citizens are receiving the service that they desire.
How intertwined is this ministry with the Ministry of Digital Transformation?
Pretty much so. They are like our brother, sister, if you like to call it, ministry. A lot of the work that we do, there's key alignments there, and you may even from the outside think, okay, there's several overlaps because they're working in terms of the ICT aspect of it, in terms of the hardware, the infrastructure, and those things. We are working with the processes and the people side. So therefore, we have to collaborate on a number of our initiatives to ensure we have a successful program and project at the end of the day.
Would you say that the public servants who fall under the remit of the Ministry of Public Administration, which is everybody essentially, right? How have they been receiving these modernization updates when it comes to digital technology, when it comes to that transformation from paper to tech?
Well, I would say the adoption rate may not be as quickly as we would like it to be. Now, remember, government hasn't been doing transformation as of today. It's been quite a number of years that we've been at it. And it's something that will continue because we will be continuing to improve. So we work with those various key stakeholders in terms of the various change initiatives to ensure that we get the buy-in and the drive and the enthusiasm. Now, sometimes you may not get everyone on board, but you work with the coalition of the willing, as I like to call it. And those are the ones who will push us through to increase our adoption rate as we move forward and create change.
I want to ask, how big is this coalition? but afraid the answer. I am definitely afraid of the answer. Deputy PS, let me jump back into the career fair for a bit. In terms of the type of jobs that are on offer that you want to show people that are possible within the government, what type of jobs do we have?
Well, we have several. As I mentioned, we are the most diverse workforce. So how we're organizing these two career fairs is around clusters.
Right.
So persons who are interested or pursuing studies in a particular faculty already, we have already aligned it. So when you come in, you can go straight to that cluster and you can get the ministries, departments, and agencies who operate in that cluster.
Okay.
So we have 12 of them. Protective services, you'll get the usual, the police, the air guard, the coast guard, the regiment, the prison service, the fire service. We have energy cluster. We have legal and legislative cluster, public utilities, WAS and Tech, of course. We have a training and education cluster, health cluster, youth, media and information, and of course TTT is going to be in that cluster. The agriculture and the environment, we have aviation and marine, and we even have a tech cluster.
Okay.
So if you're studying in any of those areas or interested in a job or working in those areas, you go straight to that cluster and you'll get the ministries, departments, and agencies who operate in that cluster, and you can get a sense of the jobs that are on offer there. So again, we promote public service careers because we say once you get into the public, you spend many years being in the public service. So we talk about getting in and being promoted and upgrading your skills and staying in the public service. And we also have some vacancies that are available. So I want to put in a plug.
Go ahead.
Because our biggest tool for our audience today is the careers portal.
Right.
So it's https://publicservicecareers.gov.tt. And anyone around the world, because it's a website, can go on there and find out about the 1,086 jobs that we have available. They can pull up the job description itself. They can see what the qualifications and experience requirements are. They can even see the salary for the job.
For real?
It's not even a secret.
It's not secret?
It's not a secret. We have other content on the site. So if you're in a teaching service, for example, and you want to see what's the career progression, how you move from teacher 1 to teacher 2, you're in the police service, how you move up, you're in the fire service, you're in the prison service, if you're in the civil service, what's the career path? So you're not just getting into the job, you're getting into a career to move up, hopefully.
And just to recap, that website is Public Services Careers.
Public service,
Service,
careers.gov.tt.
Publicservicecareers.gov.tt, yeah?
Yes.
All right. You mentioned, for example, the teachers, right? Is it that the way that it works is that the Ministry of Public Administration would employ teachers, for example, and then send them to the Ministry of Education, or you send them to the schools directly?
The Teaching Service Commissions does the recruitment for teachers. Of course, you have the prison service and fire service. And
so they do all their own
They do all
recruitment.
of the recruitment. But you can find the vacancies because we have the links to all of them on that very same website.
All right. So, so the Ministry of Public Administration does the recruitment for which?
We don't, we're only for ourselves.
Okay.
The Public Service Commission will do the recruitment for public or for civil service, all right? Each ministry, however, does recruitment for contract jobs. So those are 1 to 3 year jobs that each ministry has responsibility to advertise, recruit, and hire those persons.
What's the ratio of contract jobs to, what is it called, fixed term? What is it called?
Yeah, as permanent jobs.
Permanent.
Yeah. So we have about 35,000 permanent jobs,
Right.
and you'll get about 6,000 or so contract jobs. The amount varies from time to time. Persons who are in the communications field, they tend to have contract jobs.
I'm aware.
IT tends to have contract jobs. So
Okay.
we have some legal jobs that are contract, but we also have those that are in the establishment as well.
Now, so I growing up and hearing about these permanent jobs, right? And the word permanent means something very specific, right?
Yes.
I mean, what does permanent jobs mean? Is it the same thing that I'm thinking? Like once you get a job, you're set for life? Like you're just there?
Of course, you have to behave yourself in the job and do well.
Right.
But yes, essentially, you're engaged until you decide or you want to part ways, or if you've
Or you
done
breach the
something
contract.
yes wrong, then
In terms of performance analysis, who does that aspect of it? Would it be whichever commission hires you, whichever ministry hires you?
yes, the Public Service Commission ultimately responsible for hiring you. If it's the Teaching Service Commission or one of the other commissions, you'll have the decision about dismissal.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure it was clear so that everybody understand, because I hear about permanent work my whole life and I never quite understood how you get a permanent job. But thank you
But
very
it's
much
the
for
same in
clearing
the
that.
private sector. Some people are like
No, they don't
banking,
have contracts.
banking in particular.
They have contracts,
They will join
though.
and they will be career bankers.
But they have contracts, and the contracts get renewed if they don't mess it up. All right, when is the career fair happening?
It's this Friday, 21st, at the NESC Auditorium in Couva, and next Friday, 28th, at the Racket Center in Tacarigua.
Do we need to register in advance, or do we just show up on the day and...
Most persons can show up on the day. However, if you want to participate in the resume writing, in the interview skills training,
Right.
or the dress for success, we really encourage you to register so we can cater for you in terms of the room sizes that we have, that Hermat will be offering those programs.
Okay, where do they go to register?
They go online, same website.
Public Service Careers
You can go to the ministry's website,
Okay.
www.mpa.gov.tt.
Okay. So mpa.gov.tt, and we can register to be a part of the resume writing, the interview skills, and
Dress for Success.
dressing for success. And that one is happening. So it kicks off at what time? 9 a.m. I see for
9
both
a.m.
days.
to 2:30 p.m. We have invited schools, of course, 5th and 6th formers. That's a target group.
Okay.
So we can get them excited. Again, this is about building a future workforce. It's a strategic initiative.
Hey, the one people who are already
you just don't
traumatized.
land up in the government. We want you to be excited about being in government from very early.
Yeah.
Choose your study path and come and work in the public service and make a difference in the lives of Trinidad and Tobago.
So I have to ask, right? How do you deal with when new persons come in looking for these careers and they're excited about it, but they've met these people who've been career public servants who might be a little bit less enthused about the job, about the processes, about all of that stuff? How do you manage having both of those in the workforce?
Because now we realize that there's a calling, so they have to be the change. So they should be excited to come and say, that's not what I want to meet. I want to change that. Or I want, well,
I don't want to become that.
You don't want to become it, or you want to influence the person there to get more excited again about working in the public service. We do a lot of dynamic things. You know, every day, yesterday, there was a change at the leadership level.
Yesterday doesn't happen every day at all. Not at
No,
all.
it's an exciting place to work. And I told you about the different ministries, departments in it. We touch almost every industry in the public service, right? So there is something for you to do, and certainly change for you to create, improvement for you to create. And we want persons to come in with some enthusiasm and the ability to want to serve the country and give to Trinidad and Tobago.
Colin, from where you sit, what are the active changes that you see public servants are able to make that affects people, whether they know it or not?
I think at their level, in terms of how they deliver their services, also internally to their colleagues and also to our citizens or residents, I think they can make a change at their level. I know sometimes they feel as though it reaches too far, but really and truly, I think they should focus at the change that they can make at their level and where they're empowered to do so.
And oftentimes, I think people who work in administration don't feel as though they can have that significant impact. But what we don't realize is without administrative staff, you probably wouldn't get paid for starters.
Yes, exactly.
So I want to say thank you to the entire ministry for the service. As somebody who working for the government, I'm grateful, very, very grateful. But the career fair is happening this coming Friday, March 21st, and next week on March 28th as well. So you can head to the National Energy Skills Center in Couva from 9 a.m. This is Saturday.
This Friday.
This is Friday from 9 a.m. And then next Friday as well, the 28th. From 9 a.m. we head to the National Racquetball Center in Tacarigua for the Ministry of, what am I saying? The Public Service Career Fair.
Correct.
That's what I want to say. Let me say thank you very much, Deputy Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Public Administration, Ms. Abigail Baino, for joining us this morning, as well as Ms. Colleen Agalazzi, Executive Director of Modernization and Service Improvement Division. Thank you very much, ladies, and do enjoy the rest of your day, and all the best with the career fair.
Thank you. You're most welcome.
No problem at all. We take a quick break and we come back with more right here on the Now Morning Show. Stay tuned.